Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls. On today's episode, we'll be breaking down the draft profile of Ochai Agbaji. This is a guard coming out of Kansas who's projected to go in the top 10, but we're going to talk about him nonetheless. We're also going to be talking about the most underrated Bulls of the last decade. And then lastly, we'll be jumping into the mailbag. All that and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls. Today's episode is actually brought to you by Arcade 1-Up. Bring home a slam dunk, introducing NBA Jam Slam Edition from Arcade 1-Up. Pre-order now to play with legends. Arcade 1-Up is the place for authentic gaming experiences featuring licensed retro games from the golden age of arcades. Today, and thank you, Locked On Bulls is a member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. That's Pat, the designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze. I'm Hayes, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central, and we're jumping right in. We got a hell of a prospect to talk about today, Pat. That's Ochai Agbaji. Now, he is projected in most mocks to go in the top 10. There are a couple that have him dropping outside of the lottery, and this may be because of his age. He played up to his junior year in college, so there could be potential. Oh, he played his senior year in college.
Senior
yeah,
year.
so some mocks do take that into consideration and maybe have some of the younger, more upside picks go ahead of him. But what do you think overall about this guy?
We won't see him. That's my pick on that one, Cotton. We're not gonna see him. No, I honestly don't think he'll make it down there. 6'5", 215. Worked himself into a heck of a player. And I don't know if that continues, right? If that growth continues at the NBA level. I will say this: I liked his game at Kansas. I thought he was a big part of what they wanted to do, and he really turned himself. You look from his senior year or his freshman year to his senior year, really turned himself into a heck of a player all the way around. Came in, always was a good, efficient player, but I think kind of the reason he waited as well, right? Like, didn't have a three ball. Just came in, he was a 30% three-point shooter, wasn't great at shooting it, slowly worked on it. Finally, last season, it looked like it finally clicked for him, and he turned himself into a focal point of that offense. I like his ability to attack the glass. I like his ability to finish at the bucket at a high efficiency. And I like that he's a 40% three-point shooter in college. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of dudes come from college to the NBA and like fix their shot when they get to the league. He's already got it
or
going.
mess it up like Markelle Fultz.
It's a whole different thing, dog. I got to go back and look at that. I didn't know everything that went down with Markelle. I knew the yips, but it's a whole different thing. But for me with him, right, I think the most intriguing part about him is that you saw continued development, and y'all know I like players that stay longer in college. This kid's going to be, I would guarantee at a minimum, right, you would probably see his junior year numbers, his first year in the NBA. I don't know if he comes into the NBA averaging 18 points a game, but I could absolutely see him being a 14, 3 and 2 assists. Not really getting rid of that mug. He's a scorer, so I could absolutely see him be a nice piece in the NBA off the bat, competing for Rookie of the Year. I think you're going to get a couple of those guys in the league this year, and you might see. Watch for this, right? Because we've talked about 4 or 5 guys that spent 2-3 years in college.
Yeah.
You might see a shift in the NBA, how they're going to look at some of these prospects here, especially with the G League, saying, hey, look, they're better when they come from college after 3-4 years instead of 1 year.
Well, I mean, we'll see, because they do come in more ready. I think it really just depends on draft position, the specific team that's drafting them. Because some teams, if you're not even close to being a playoff team, then you're going to go upside because you have time to develop them. But if you're a team that is like one piece away, you may start looking at some of these juniors and seniors and saying, "Hey, listen." They're going to come in and still have some, because everybody has room to develop no matter what their age is when they come in. But usually they're ready to contribute right away. Exactly. Yeah. So, I wouldn't mind a shift in that. Like, the thing that I like about this kid is not only just his size overall and the legit size at being a shooting guard, but it's his no fear of putting the ball on the floor. Now, I will say this: he's not the best ball handler, right? And that it's some shades of Zach LaVine there a little bit with that. But what I will say that I really do like about him is just the fact that the work that he put in, bro. Like you look at his freshman year, it's not freshman and sophomore year, basically nothing special about that at all. Looking at the numbers, right? But then how he turned himself, it's a heck of a player junior year, and then coming in senior year and putting up almost 18.8 points per game. Wow. Like he put in the work, and that type of worth ethic is what's going to get you over. It's not always skill sometimes, right? Or that potential. Sometimes it's just being able, like Jimmy Butler. He worked himself into being a star in this league because he put in the work day in and day out. And looking at Agbaji and just the way that he worked, it would make you think and believe, like, hey, if he puts in that work too on the NBA level, we're gonna have a heck of a player on our hands.
So, here's the thing for me, right? Like, I don't know if he falls outside of the top 14 because, right, in this draft, at a minimum, it feels like more of a role players kind of draft. He feels like a piece that could make an immediate impact. But if he does, where do you see him going? Does he make it all the way to 18, which I think would be a heck of a surprise? Or if he doesn't, what team do you see taking him? Because right now, I mean, every team up there, maybe minus the Rockets, could use a forward, or was he more?
He's more of a
6'5",
shooting
two
guard.
guard, more of a
He's
two
a
guard.
yeah.
Could use a 2 guard at that spot. Like OKC may pass on him. Orlando they got 17 of the
Wait,
same players.
pause. I think we're missing the perfect pick to take him. Does he get past Portland at 7? Considering they want to build around Dame Lillard.
Yeah.
They've had small guards around him, even Simon, small guards around him. His legit size, being a center, being able to come right in and contribute. Does he get past even Portland at number 7?
Being a shooting guard, you're saying?
Yeah, being a shooting guard.
said
To
7.
pair next to Dame.
Does he get past Portland at 7? I wouldn't think so, but I also don't know if they keep that pick.
This is true.
If
they keep the pick.
I don't know if Portland keeps that pick. New Orleans is set. San Antonio, I think, is.
Oh, San Antonio can use a 2 guard.
Devin Vassell is going to be nice, but maybe they don't think so. But I think Devin Vassell is going to be nice.
But wait, didn't Devin Vassell play more 3 this year than 2?
Who played 2?
Go ahead, keep going. I'll look it up.
Yeah, look at that, Ross. I'm trying to think. I thought he was the 2. Poor kid, Jog. It might be the Knicks, bro.
Oh no, I think the Knicks are going to draft to replace Mitch. That's what I don't want to see this kid go to the Knicks,
bro. They don't need a replacement for him. They got 17 centers on the team.
I saw you guys today, bro. Like that's crazy.
We went through the list. They got so many.
Devin Vassell played small forward for them. Joshua Primo played starting shooting guard.
Josh Primo, yeah. That's true. I didn't think about Josh Primo. I forgot about him. Man, Devin Vassell. What I told Devin Vassell? Don't worry about it. I wonder, right? Like, I don't know if he fits Cleveland's makeup. Like, I almost could see him falling depending on who trades and whatnot. Maybe the Kings take him. Pistons set at the 3.
Yeah,
or the Pistons set at anything really, but I mean, like, I would assume they have a player that they feel is pretty good there. Like, he might actually get out of there. I don't know if he gets to 18 though. That's a long fall. But then again, but we didn't think Io was gonna fall.
This is my thing. I do think that it's either going to be one of, and in most mocks, one of these players do usually fall. Now, some mocks have the Bulls picking a big, so they fall even further. Yeah. But it's either so Shaedon Sharpe, who I don't think is gonna fall any. You got Dyson Daniels, you got Ochai Agbaji, you got Johnny Davis, you got Malachi Branham, who we also recovered. One of those guys are going to fall to close to the Bulls pick.
Yeah. That's why 18 is not bad, dog.
Yeah.
Like I was telling myself, I was like, 18 is a pick you really can do something with. Like,
honestly,
I can't believe we got it.
You're right outside the lottery. Like, and you get to benefit much like a Michael Porter still went in the lottery. He went 14th. But if it wasn't for Denver picking there, he probably would have fell out of the lottery. You always have something that you can when if you're in that 16, 17, 18 spot, you're going to get a heck of a player.
Yeah. And I before I looked at who the teams were, I didn't think he'd get that far.
Mm-hmm.
He might fall, bro. He might fall outside the lottery because I don't know. I think Portland needs a now player. So I don't know if they
Yeah.
hold on to that pick. I think that would be the number that he would go at. If Portland holds on to that pick, I see him in Portland.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, but that is Ochai Agbaji. Let us know what you guys think about him down below. Next up, before we get into the next topic, which is talking about the most underrated Chicago Bulls players of the last decade, got to talk to you guys about Arcade One Up. Now, I'm gonna start this off with this, bro. I gotta say it like this: Boom shakalaka.
Boom
We,
shakalaka.
we have big news. The one and only NBA Jam is back, and Arcade One Up, the leader in home retro arcade games, is not only bringing the best game ever back, but they've made it bigger than ever with wait for it, the Shaq Edition. The Shaq Edition. Listen, bro, I don't know about you. So much of my childhood and youth was spent playing NBA Jam, bro. NBA Jam was it where it was. Like me and my dad used to go
in the
ham on
PlayStation
each other.
I grew up in the PlayStation era.
Oh,
So
there you go. Yeah, at that point we were realistic. You were in the NBA Live 2K era, so already by then.
I don't
so,
know
yeah.
about realistic. You seen them graphics, though?
I mean, from back then though, but people are obsessed with NBA Jam, and I'm thrilled to tell our listeners that you can once again play hoops with NBA legends in this arcade classic. Jump clear across the court and set the ball on fire in one of the first sports games ever to feature real and digitized NBA licensed teams. No fouls, no free throws, no quarters required. Compete with friends and family through all the new Wi-Fi leaderboards, making you more connected than ever before. Pre-order now from arcade1up.com. That's arcade, the number one up.com for an estimated early September ship date. Arcade One Up is the place that you've got even more classics like Golden Tee, Mortal Kombat, and many others starting at just $3.99. Check this out. They're giving away an NBA Jam Shaq Edition to a Locked On listener. Enter for a chance to win the game console for your man cave at arcade1up.com/locked-on. I may even be entering that. That's arcade, the number one up.
Can we get in it?
/locked-on. You've got till July 8th to enter. Oh, well, yeah, you got a little time to enter NBA Jam Shaq Edition console. Don't miss out. Enter today. Who you gonna play with? Who you gonna play with, Pat?
Dog, it's NBA Jam. You have to play with Shaq. It's just the most.
Oh, wait, is it modern rosters? Is it old school rosters? Like I don't know.
Hey, if it's Shaq Edition, it gotta have Shaq. Like
This is true.
I'm playing with Shaq. He's got to be 99 everything. And is it Orlando Shaq or Lakers Shaq? That's a game changer.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. But next up, we're gonna talk about the most underrated Chicago Bulls players of the last decade. Now, we got a heck of a list. It really is. And me looking at this, there's a lot of players to pick from, surprisingly. Some one-off Bulls players that came and went. Some players that were here for a couple of seasons. Now, the thing that I may cheat on a little bit when I make my list is some of these players didn't play as good when they're on the Bulls, but they became heck of players after they left.
Oh, we can go out of here. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was an option.
But anyway, Pat, man, who do you want to go off first on one of the most underrated Bulls in the last decade?
Most underrated Bulls in the last decade. You know what? Here's a guy that for me, I always looked at as, yo, we had him, we lost him, we got him back, we got him too late.
Okay.
Now, you know what? He might be a little outside the decade. I'm pushing the decade a little bit.
Okay.
But for me, it was always Brad Miller.
Yeah, definitely pushing the decade on that one.
I'm pushing it a little bit. I'm pushing it a little bit. But for me, it was
last
always.
Last time we played with the Bulls was 2010, bro. Like, yeah, you pushing it.
I missed it by 2 years. My bad. I missed it by 2 years. Nah, but you know what? He was one of those players that. All right, I'll switch it there. I go to my second one. Then that's true. I'm pushing it. Well, I play by the rules because even though you cheating out here talking about they play well after the Bulls. My second one on my list was going to be somebody who just cracked me up while he was with the Bulls, but he was absolutely one of them dudes that was out there splashing for us night in and night out. I got to go with the Italian stallion, man, Marco Bellinelli. I'm half Italian. I can get away with
that. That's actually the number one on my list too. So
that's
like,
number one. Hey, I'm glad I stole him.
Marco, and you know the thing is, and I went back and looked at Marco's per 36, which we both hate, but also his PER. He just wasn't used right, bro.
Oh, big shot.
Like they literally only went to him like, "Hey man, listen, we need a 3. Go to Marco." But Marco had the ability to put the ball on the floor. Yeah. He was a solid defender, not a lockdown or anything, but he was active defensively.
Yeah.
Marco is definitely, he's one of the toughest players that we had around that time. And it just sucks that when we did have him, Derrick Rose wasn't Derrick Rose anymore at that point, because I really do think had Derrick Rose gotten to have a prime, right, him and Marco would have been a hell of a backcourt together.
Oh, I would have loved it, but you know what? And it's like you said, they really didn't use him right. And so the question I always had was like, when you sent it to me, I was like, all right, let me go through some of these mugs and see kind of
Mm-hmm.
what it looked like. And I honestly looked at it and I was like, wait a minute now, like Marco could pass. Like I didn't remember. I just remembered him being able to shoot. I was like, Marco was like a really good passer.
Mm-hmm.
Marco was a decent on-ball defender. Marco actually was good creating a shot. He was the two guard we needed, and we never used him like it.
Never had the chance to, bro.
Yeah,
Like, it's crazy, man. It's really crazy. Like, Marco was really, really good player. And I think people don't really quite understand how good Marco was, because at that time, everybody was waiting. Is Derek coming back? Is Derek coming back? It was
Derek
kind of
coming
throwaway
back.
seasons until Derek came back. But I'm going to go ahead, since you mentioned Marco, I'm going to get into my next player. And this one, everybody's going to agree with Nate freaking Robinson.
Hey, one of the best
Bro,
playoff series I've watched.
one of the best one season Bulls of all time, if
Oh yeah,
not the best one season Bull of all
yeah.
time. Like what Nate Robinson did in that series was phenomenal. But also outside of that, what he did over the course of that season, bro, to be able to be the Bulls starting point guard because Derrick Rose was out with injury, and to be able to bring so much, another player that, heck, had Rose actually been able to come back, because remember that was the season where they kept thinking Rose was going to come back.
Yeah.
Had Rose been able to come back and we have Nate Robinson coming off our bench, bro, that would have been bananas.
He was a guy that you like. Tom had at that point become the king of like, I'm gonna put this little dude in here to replace Derek until Derek get back,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna be really good. And you're gonna sit there and look at him like, hey, do we need to get this dude a for real contract out here? Like he played himself into one of those roles. But the thing was, right, like he was so aggressive, and you added that with Tom Thibodeau's coaching style, and it made him more aggressive. So, like when him and of course you go to the playoff series versus Brooklyn, but when him and
Yeah.
CJ Watson are going at it, like I'm like, yo, like Nate Robinson is exactly the kind of player we need. Unfortunately, he got hurt at the end of that season, right? Or was it in
No,
the
no,
off
no. He didn't
season?
get hurt that season. So the Bulls didn't re-sign him. He
Bulls
signed
didn't
with
resign.
Denver, and
He's
then
he got
like a week after he signed with Denver, he tore his ACL. Like
yep,
it was something weird too. It was like
yep,
coming off an escalator or something.
yep.
But to go over Nate Robinson's stats that season: 25 minutes per game, 43% from the field, 40% from 3-point, 80% from free throw. He averaged 2.2 rebounds a game, which for like a 5'6" player, that's huge. 4.4 assists per game and 13.1 points per game. But to take that to the playoffs, 16.3 points per game, 43% again, 3-point percentage. His 3-point percentage dropped down to 33%, 4.4 assists per game. Like, that's crazy, bro.
Dog, he did. I mean, he did everything we needed him to do. He was one of those guys that stepped in, and you just had to look at him and be like, we appreciate you for just stepping in until Derek gets back. And I feel like we never truly appreciated it, right? Because, like you said, we always were just like, but when Derek comes back, but
Yeah.
when Derek comes back. And now, like, if you go back and watch that series, like Nate was on my list too. I was watching the highlights of him today, and I was like, bro, like this was so much fun. I just remember like CJ Watson goes down and smokes the dunk that should have sealed the game. And Nate leads this ridiculous comeback, one-legged fall away floater while somehow still moving forward. Like he floats it, but he's moving forward. Like it was a wild one, bro. What time? How much time we got left? We got time for one more. Yeah, we got time for one more. One more
Give it
quick
one more.
one. One more quick one. Another dude I had on my team that didn't spend a ton of time with the Bulls, but he was somebody that in that 2014-2015 season, I felt like we had a little bit of a bench mob again. Aaron Brooks.
Oh, absolutely, bro.
Aaron Brooks, bro.
Yeah.
Now more 13, I believe. No, 14, 15, I'm right. 82 games, started 21 of them, gave us 11 points a game, and it literally became, like I just said, we lost Nate. where are we going to find this other little guy that's going to step in while Derek doesn't play nearly as many games? We got Aaron Brooks. And so it was one of those where it was like, he was a player that just gave you that intensity, gave you pretty good shooting, was able to finish, was able to command the offense for you. Really somebody that I it was one of the first people that stood out in my mind when I thought about like people like I started just running through the teams like who did should I think like wasn't a good player for us?
Mm-hmm.
And he popped up in my head, and I was like, bro, like, nah, Aaron Brooks got some games with us, bro. Like, every one of these dudes we've named has a game.
And
that's
also,
like,
let's also mention DJ Augustine. I think sometimes people forget about
DJ
him too.
Augustine.
Because it was the 3 in a row. Like it was first CJ Watson, but he left, right? And then it was Aaron Brooks, DJ Augustine, and Nate Robinson. They had that overlapping of time where Derrick Rose was out, whether it was the first injury or the second MCL injury, and they stepped in and did their thing.
Bro. And it was one of those where they'll always be. Are they more iconic? Like we literally just named outside of Marco 3 guards. Mm-hmm. Are they more iconic in our minds because of being able to step in for Derek? Like they didn't replace production, but we didn't lose ground.
I don't think they're overrated for that. If anything, I think people take that for granted, so to say. Like, how often do you hear, like DJ Augustine, how often do you hear him mentioned? Like Nate Robinson because of the playoff series, right? But Aaron Brooks and DJ Augustine, you just don't hear them mentioned much because I think people almost forget like how big of a role that they had to step into. Like, yeah, they didn't match that production exactly, but they were able to do enough to where the drop-off wasn't. The Bulls were still playoff teams all of those years.
Yep. Hey, no, forget playoff teams. We finished second in the Eastern Conference with Aaron Brooks as our starting point guard for 21 games.
That's crazy. That is wild, fam. That's crazy.
Hey, man. Hey, I love those. Like going back, it sucks, right? Because, like, of course, we didn't win a championship. We didn't get the big one. We didn't get it done with Derek, and we thought we had so much more time with him.
Yeah.
But those teams just stick out so much in my memory. Like I feel like, and I don't know if every fan base is like this. Like I guess if you win a bunch of championships, you're probably not like this. Like if you're a Warriors fan, you're probably not like this. But like the hustle teams stick out so much in my mind. The 14-15 Bulls, where I was just like, we shouldn't be winning like this.
Yeah,
Derek came back for like 50 games, I think. Yeah, I mean, I always think of the baby Bulls where we end up beating Miami. I always think, taking the Pistons to 7. Like, what are we doing here? Like I feel like those are the teams that we're always just like, man, I remember that. That was a good time.
Yeah.
Because you expected nothing from them. Like last year, we went on a run. We feeling good about the Bulls, and then we like, y'all kind of suck. I'm just playing. Let's keep it going, though, my boy. Unless you have one more. You good? We good?
No, I'm good, bro.
We over time. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Take it out of petty cash. Hey, before we get to the final topic, we do want to let you guys know about the Ultimate NBA Mock Draft. It starts June 16th with over 50 insiders. There's nothing equal to the Ultimate NBA Mock Draft. The Locked On NBA Big Board Draft experts plus the Odyssey Insiders. First pick is June 16th. Search the Ultimate NBA Mock Draft and follow now so you don't miss a pick. Also, got to tell you about rockauto.com, man, because they are also a sponsor on this episode. And with the ever-increasing number of makes and models, it's now impossible for you to go to your local chain store and just tell them which parts you need, and they're hitting you with questions back and forth. Is your Odyssey an LX or an EX? And then you wait behind the counter. Some dude clacks on a keyboard. He don't know what he's looking for either. He's not a real mechanic. He just helps you put batteries in. And then why do all that? You got access right in your pocket to rockauto.com. You can save money and time while using Rock Auto. I choose to spend 30, 50, 100% more sometimes on the same parts from a chain store or car dealership. Well, you can go to rockauto.com. Their prices are reliably low for every single customer, and they have everything you need: brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, and now even new carpet. Go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck, right Locked On in there. How'd you hear about us section so that they know that Locked On sent you. Amazing selections, reliably low prices, all the parts you'll ever need at rockauto.com.
Dun, 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 dun.
There we go.
All right, next up, we're going to go ahead and get into your questions, your comments. We're jumping into the mailbag this episode. We got 2 voicemails, and I guess because we went a little over, it's good. We're going to finish off with 2 voicemails solidly strong. Before we go, we did forget to mention, I meant to mention at the top of the show, 31 years since the Bulls won their first title. Shout out to that team, man. I know that's before your time. My co-host is a little bit young, before his time, but nonetheless.
Probably watched that game more than the people that watched it live.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
I was there. I bet you don't remember what Jordan did in the second quarter.
All right, first voicemail up. This one is from, I believe, Jimmy. He'll say it in there. I probably got that wrong.
Hey, this is Justin Howe. I was just calling to ask if you guys thought Drew Timmy would be a potential pick for the Bulls in this draft class. He
Who'd he
would
say?
be a potential pick.
He said Drew Timmy, and it's so funny. So I did not know who he was talking about. So in preparing for this episode, I looked up Drew Timmy's numbers, bro. He's a 6'9", 230-pound power forward from Gonzaga. He played into his junior year. Let me go over his junior year stats, bro. Again, this is a big, right? And we know that we can use a big. He's not slated to be drafted, but I'll tell you what, looking at his numbers, I would not be mad if they brought him in as like a G League contract. 18.4 points per game, almost a block per game, 6.8 rebounds per game, 28% free throw shooting percentage, 60% 2-point percentage, almost 60% overall from the field, bro. 28 minutes per game. That's in his junior year. In his sophomore year, he averaged 19 points per game off basically the same efficiencies, almost the same numbers there overall, bro. I don't hate this pick. It's coming into the G now, not as an 18th pick in the draft.
Hey, bro.
But
hey,
go
bro. Ahead. Now y'all know I'm the game by game guy.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Why aren't people talking about him, bro? These is last 5. 25-7, 25-14, 32-13, 22-4.
You know something that we need to talk about, and this is gonna sound wrong. Wrong.
I gotta see it, right? This might be a Kofi situation, maybe.
I
don't know him. I'm not gonna lie. I've never seen him. I've never paid attention to him. Maybe I've probably seen him play. But
Look, reading some of these scouts, right, from him, it doesn't seem like any of the issues that they have with him is to do with his inability to guard on the NBA level. It seems like his shot's a little bit slow. It seems like on some pick and rolls for quicker guards they're worried about him with in extended minutes, but bringing him into G League, maybe being that 10 to 12 minute just enforcer, bro, I don't hate this at all, man. And everything that I've read on him says that his basketball IQ is extremely, and this is the thing that I was going to say that I think may be a little bit controversial. I think we're going to start seeing the return of the big, strong, white big in the NBA.
The big, strong white dude? Big country?
And you talked about Brad Miller earlier, right?
Brad Miller, yeah. Listen, I've seen no tape. I don't even remember watching a Gonzaga game last year. So I don't know what he actually can do, what his talent actually is, where he spends most of his time. But bro, he scored 37 points against Texas. They were 5th in the country. It's got to be something. It's got to be something.
I checked.
He ain't got no post game.
I checked 10 mock drafts, right? And I didn't go deep because I didn't expect him to show up in any like I did on some of the other picks. He is not selected to be selected, or he's not slated to be selected in any of the 10 that I looked at, bro. And looking at that's crazy.
Now here's the question though, because like again, haven't looked at anything on him. This is the first. Has he declared?
Yes, he's officially hired an agent, so he's in
declared.
The
draft. So he's declared in the draft. Okay, that makes a difference. I don't know, bro. Listen, maybe I don't know about at 18, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not at 18, but I wouldn't if we.
But I also
the
don't
Bulls,
know why at 8. I wouldn't take him at 18 either. Like,
oh wait, that's where we go. We're wrong. I was wrong. Wait, that's the thing. Like, it said that he hired an agent, but I just read an article that actually just came out that he has decided to go back for his senior year.
That would explain why he won't be here. So when the Bulls are better next season, we probably won't be in range to draft him. Hey,
bro.
hey, that
You know
makes
what?
me feel better. Hey, because that's the thing. I was like, yo, I've looked through draft. Like, I'm not stupid. I don't watch college that close, but I can't be this dumb. Like, I
Bro, I'm
missed the
telling
dude
you,
that was putting
you,
up
you know,
37.
who ruined it? And another Gonzaga player, Adam Morrison, ruined it for white people in like that has that type of game. He ruined it. Like real talk. Come on, man.
Adam Morrison.
he
Adam Morrison is such a throwback name. That's one of the top 5 worst mustaches I've ever seen in my life.
Bro, when's the last time after him he was picked with the 3rd overall pick? Have we seen a non-European white big be drafted that high since him? I'm telling you, he ruined it for him.
I don't think so.
That's
I don't think so. I think it is
if
just
I'm
Adam
listen,
Morrison.
if anybody can prove me wrong in the comments, I'm not. I don't mean that as
I
like
can't.
I'm going off memory. Please
I
prove me wrong in the
I
comments.
can't remember one. I definitely can't remember one. That's funny. I do agree. I kind of agree with you though. I hate how we phrased it, but like I mean, I'm half white, so it's all good. So
Yeah.
that's how, oh well, you too. So
Me too. So I can say it. Yeah. I'm telling.
together we got one white dude on this show. But
Adam Morrison ruined it for white people.
hey, that's a fact. That's tough.
At that point, everybody was like, "Listen, if they're not from Europe, we don't want to see them. I don't care." Like, no, none. That's crazy, man.
That's a fact. That's wild.
That's crazy. All right, let's get into this last voicemail. This one's from Shay.
Hey, what's up? Hey, it's Impact. You know, I've been thinking a lot about free agency, and I could see the Chicago Bulls going for a guy like DeMontis Sabonis. Now, look, Hayes, I know you said that the Sacramento Kings are looking to do something with him, but let's be honest. Every time Sacramento says they're looking to do something with somebody, they don't necessarily get it done. And think about it. They haven't necessarily made the playoffs in almost 20 years. Now, that's a longer drought than what we have. And think about it. We've had a long drought before the end of this season. Now, on the other hand, I believe that AK might be looking to bring in a guy like DeMontis Sabonis, especially with our young core that we have now. Now, Vucevic is my guy, but I guarantee you, DeMontis Sabonis might be a Chicago Bull.
I gotta disagree wholeheartedly, bro. Like I love Shay, but
Not this free agency.
not that like
Not this
no.
free agency.
I don't think that the Kings look to move him. I really think that they're going to look to add to him and De'Aaron Fox to really see, because him and De'Aaron Fox seem like they develop a heck of chemistry in a short amount of time. So if they can extend that and really see what they have, and I don't think that they look to move him. And then again, the Bulls, they're looking. Sabonis is young Vooch. They're not looking to duplicate what Vooch already gives them. They're looking to bring in a big who can either play with Vooch, play with Patrick Williams, who brings in defense, rebounding, things that shot blocking, things that Vooch doesn't necessarily excel at. I don't think that they're looking to bring in somebody like Sabonis right now. What do you think, Pat?
I would go get him, but it depends, right? Like I don't know how you'd get him. It's not free agency. I don't think he's a free agent for another 2 years. I think he's got 2 more years under contract. You might see him play his time out there and see if he can make something work. But I think it is on him, right? Because this is a new NBA where like the player can dictate whether he wants to be on a team or not for the most part. Now, Sacramento kind of has some old school views. They will hold you hostage. But I feel like Sabonis will eventually leave Sacramento and maybe sign somewhere. And I think the Bulls could be in play for that. But I don't think that it's gonna happen this year by any means, because I do think Sabonis might. I mean, he's coming from Indiana, so anything's gonna be better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like he went from like the Lakers to the Kings. Like, he probably. I think he's gonna stick it out there at least one season.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to leave Sacramento anytime soon. And I know you said that like I don't think Sabonis has the coof to really demand a trade right now from the Sacramento Kings, considering he just got there.
But you know what? He's
I
a
don't even
better
know if I
player
use
than
"coof" correctly. My mama used to throw that at me all the time. I don't even really know what
I
that
don't even
means.
know
I'm
what
not
that
even gonna
means.
lie to you. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I was gonna let you have it. I assumed you knew. No, I think Sabonis is a okay, Siri. I think Sabonis is a I think he's a better player than the Kings franchise realizes that they have right now.
Mhm.
And if he demanded out and did the whole like, I'm not gonna come play for y'all, you dig, like they would move him. And no, and I don't even think it would hurt his stock because everybody would be like, well, Sacramento.
I mean, at this point now, like if he was to make a big fuss, yeah, I don't think it'll hurt his stock at all because listen, it is the Kings. Like, let's be clear here.
They're
It's the
like,
Kings.
who else but Quagmire? Like, that's how the Kings
And
are at
this
this
isn't
point.
my,
Like,
I hate the city of Cleveland. The city of Sacramento is actually good. Too. Like if you've never been to Sacramento, go to Sacramento. It's a pretty good
it's just
city,
a poorly run franchise.
but it's a terribly ran
Yeah.
franchise, bro.
It's just a poorly
But
run franchise.
you,
Y'all,
but
they
so
wasted DeMarcus Cousins. I'll never
they
rock him.
waste everybody, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Get out of there, dear.
Yeah. Come on, you got a big who's 26 years old, who can average you 18 and 12. That's not a player that I think any team would be like, hey, no, I don't want that guy. I just think that that's not necessarily the type of player that the AK and Eversley are targeting right now. But I tell you what, if it came down a trade deadline, Vooch is expiring, and they say, hey, we don't know if Marco's quite ready. We're going to trade Vooch for Sabonis. Sacramento, you guys get off that contract at the end of the season. We bring in Sabonis, who can do a lot of the things that Vooch, not quite as good of a passer as Vooch, but can do a lot of the things, at least offensively, that Vooch can do. I'm not hating it.
That's where I could see it. That's where I
Yeah.
could see it more so in that scenario. I don't see it as a Sabonis wants to leave there.
Yeah.
European players tend to be very loyal to the franchises that have them, as long as they're not, the
As long as
king.
they're treated right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? As long
Yeah.
as they treat them right. So I think that we'll see a situation similar to that where Sabonis will probably play that contract out. I don't think he'll resign though.
Yeah.
I
2024
don't
is when
think
he's
he'll
a
be
free
good.
agent.
Yeah, I'll wait till then. He'll be 28.
Yeah.
I'll wait till then.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But that's it from us for today. Unless you got anything left.
Nah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right, cool. Go ahead and send them off then.
Hey, this 5 o'clock slot recording is weird, bro.
This is strange.
Hey,
Fam.
we just like, oh, kind of done.
Yeah.
Hey man, follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Also follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. We appreciate all the love and support y'all drop for us, man.
Yep. Follow me at CEO Hayes, the CEO Haize. Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls and making this your first listen every day. Now, for your second listen, go and check on Locked On NBA Big Board, where host Raphael Barlow and the NBA Draft Junkies give you everything that you want and need concerning the draft. Literally everything you could want and need concerning the draft. They have the doctorate in draft analysis. Let me just be clear on that. So you can check them out wherever you get your podcast. It's free and available, just like we are anywhere you get your podcast. That is it from us for today. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you lovely and beautiful people tomorrow. Peace, y'all.
Y'all stay safe out there, man. Peace.